You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always saying, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
On the other side, offensively, what was kind of the difference in getting slowed down there early in the fourth quarter?
I'll go back and watch it. I mean, we had looks. We had shots that could have gone down, should have gone down. Their physicality picked up, but I thought we were getting to our spots. They showed a bigger crowd there. We had some layups we missed, some free throws we missed, some wide open threes we missed. I think probably the most frustrating part is going to be the board, watching that on the other end of the floor.
I think it was 6 offensive rebounds for 12 points in the first quarter. I think it was 4 for 2. After that, were they doing anything specific to keep you guys off the glass?
I loved our energy defensively. I thought those were probably 2 of our better quarters of the season right there, defensively. To hold them to 19 second quarter, 23 in the third. They came out aggressive. I think Harden hit a couple to start that fourth that kept them alive a little bit. And then we couldn't score enough in those moments to keep the lead at that period. And then they just got too many offensive boards there. There were a couple, probably 6 points, 8 points that they got, that really turned it. So we'll keep battling. Fourth quarter, we got to close that game out. Bottom line, we got to close that game out. But keep pounding, keep pushing, keep putting ourselves in these positions.
Overall, just kind of what are your thoughts?
What positions, bro? What are you talking about? What positions you talking
obviously
about?
Obviously, not close it out the way you want.
Yeah, phenomenal.
What positions?
Yeah, I just, I think successful homestand. I think we're, to give our fans that type of effort and spirit and joy was, a great push there, for our group. So fantastic. Now we got to take it on the road, take that momentum, take it on the road. This one's going to sting tonight, but we'll get back to work tomorrow and get on the road and do some damage on the road.
Pelicans 9-25 on the road, bro. Gotta.
Yeah, I mean, we always have conversation. First of all, we're always talking. So, but we got him going early in that third, and he carried it throughout that third. I thought he was fantastic there in the second half. Try to get him going, late as well. Sadiq's done a nice job closing for us as well. We just couldn't find enough buckets down the stretch, but I think Z was fantastic second half.
Did you like the way the game? I mean, I know you didn't like the way it ended, but that last stretch, I think it was a 2 or 3 second shot difference. Shot clock and game clock differential.
Yeah,
what you talking about, Rod Walker?
It's always tricky at that time. It's a 1-possession game. There's a shot you don't even get the ball back. So we were trying to double to, get the possession out of their hands a little bit quicker, force them. So I think that was the right move. Otherwise, they put it on the board and you don't even get a shot. So I didn't, at that moment, I didn't feel like we had enough time to just sit there and guard and give them the one shot because there's no guarantee you get that ball back, So we just got to execute there down the stretch and, force their hand. And if we get that stop there, we're going the other way. So, we'll learn from this and keep growing those clutch situations.
Can you talk a little bit about the recent play of Yves Missi? He's looked He's been everywhere the past couple weeks.
I don't think it's just the last couple of weeks. I mean, this has been Eve all year, in my opinion. You know, he's been doing this for months now. Just his activity.
I mean, I wish we can get some
his
better
energy,
questions from
you
these
know, when he comes in
reporters
the game
than some of these post
immediately
games, to be
turns
honest with you.
defensively for us, our activity, the rim protection, the pace. He's done a phenomenal job. He's really turned this team, you know, in a lot of ways. Just he's a winning player. He brings a spirit and a fight. And you can see the way he's attacking the rim too. You know, his
why you
confidence
ain't
just to
play
go
pool
attack the
tonight?
rim, his putbacks. He's getting
Why we
much
play
better, you know,
three
handling the
bigs
ball,
again
those
and one guard
handoff
off the bench?
situations.
Can we ask better
he's had a heck of
questions?
a year. He's a really good player, and he's turning
3 bigs and 1
our
point guard off
defense
the
in many,
bench.
many ways.
Can we use some
Have
extra
you seen
scoring?
a ton of development this year? He's
Why
been
is
playing basketball
Poole
for
so
6
up and
years.
down minutes
Do you
wise?
see that in his day-to-day, like changing, growing?
Yeah, I think the game's certainly slowing down for him. I think he's accelerated the defensive end, the timing, making plays at the rim, going to rebound with 2 hands. Those are things that he's moved the needle on quickly this season. Offensively, that's probably for all big guys, you know, especially when you pick up basketball that late, figuring out spacing, timing, hands, decision-making with the ball, how to screen. Those are areas that, you know, probably go for, you know, people take for granted that he's become a good screener. He puts pressure on the rim now. You know, the stuff he's doing with the ball in his hands now, I don't think he was doing that last year, you know, and this is just another step in his progression. So I do think the game has slowed down for him. I do trust him with the ball in his hands, and he needs to do that for us. The effort stuff he has, you know, and I think that's the low-hanging fruit is the effort, the defense, the rim protection. So he's had a phenomenal year.
Coach, kind of feeding back on what Andrew was asking earlier, the homestand, you guys have been playing better basketball as of late ever since Deshante got back in the lineup. You know, pretty good crowd tonight. What does that really mean and kind of add to you all when you guys have that type of juice in the building?
I think the crowd tonight
Oh
was
my
phenomenal.
God, these
They're
questions,
phenomenal.
bro.
You know,
These
maybe our
muttering
numbers
ass.
may not be as high as we saw tonight, but no matter who shows up in that building, we feel the energy. This is a live building, you know, no matter who shows up. And I think our group is giving them something to be excited about. There's some joy and spirit and energy out there. This fan base should be very excited about this ball club, you know, to fight and scrap like this. There's depth to this group. There's fight to
We
this
just
group.
need a better
There's
coach, bro.
Youth, there's vets.
You
It's a
just
great
need to go
mixture
ahead on
of
about
young
your
men
business,
that
bro. And we
care
will
about
be
the
excited.
city, care about this organization, want to win, and they love it when they show up like they did tonight. So we've been blessed, you know, to have a fan base like this. And I think
Too
tonight
bad
was
they hadn't
another
blessed
great
us with enough
example of that.
wins after giving all that
Fan base has
energy.
embraced you.
I feel the love, you know, when I'm out there, when I walk the streets. I love this city, and I feel the same love from them. You know, that's all I can say is that
Let it translate in the
I
wins,
love
coach.
being the coach of this team. I love leading these men. I love fighting with them, scrapping with them, being out, you know, on the sidelines with them. And I've got nothing but love for the city, and I feel the same love back.
All right, that's James Borrego, man, with the love speech. And we got respect and love for Borrego, but listen, man, what love got to do with this? This is all about business, man. And in terms of what we need to do to take the team to the next level, man, it's all business, straight business. And we need a coach that been to the mountaintop, a guy that understands rotations and lineups, that a lot better than what we currently have. I like James Borrego a lot, but when it all said, it comes down to it, you want to win championships. You're not going to win no championships with James Borrego as your head coach. It's just not going to happen, man. So, I mean, we need somebody with a lot more, who's a lot more credentialed and resume. So, in these games here, man, it really shows, you know, how this team just was up by 15 and literally collapsed in that fourth quarter. I mean, they literally collapsed in true Pelican fashion. So, yeah, we show up and show out for the team, but we deserve winning basketball. It's no reason why, as good as much talent as we have on this team, that this team should be 25-47 right now. That's right, 25-47 tonight. So the Pelicans streak is broken. They had this game by 15 points, and ultimately it collapsed. They gave it up. You know, they gave up the ghost. 35-pounder rock, keep pounding, whatever the hell he talking about, I don't know, because they didn't do none of that in the fourth quarter. 18 points was all they were able to muster. They gave up. They were out hustled. Like we always talk about in some of these matchups, when the Pelicans face these tougher teams, the fundamentals shine, the IQ shines and sticks out. The defense, the second chance shots, boxing out, the rebounds, all this kind of stuff. It just fades, and we need a coach that can focus on creating this team and making them clutch. This man ain't it. It ain't it. So all that feeling of love nonsense, man, listen, show me you care about winning. We want wins. We don't want no 25, 27 win team, man. That ain't going to cut it down here. We need to see a winner. And me personally, like I said, I mean, it's personal. It's not personal, excuse me. It's not personal. It's business in terms of with Joe Dumas. If he's as smart as I think he is, when this season is over with, you go in there with a broom and you sweep every last one of these people out of this building. All of these castovers or holdovers from the Willie Green administration that have been in this building for some years now, all of them need to go. All this needs to be completely redone. If we talking house verbiage, they need to demo the place. Inside, go inside, tear out walls, demo the complete demoing of the internal workings of what's going on from the coaching staff, man, and clear out and go to work and find you a coach with a ring. There's several of them that's waiting to be coaches in the NBA. You need to get you one. Anyway, 111 to 106, the Pelicans fall despite being up by 15 points. For all things Pelicans, I'm Big Q up in this PPR recap, man. Listen, all I got to tell y'all in this one, man, the Pelicans go down in a loss to this team. You know, like you've seen, another fourth quarter collapse from our Pelicans. In the loss, you know, they were leading 88 to 76 entering the final period of the game. They were outscored 35 to 18. I wrote down the made notes of 5 big reasons why the Pelicans lost, and there were a lot more, but I'm just going to stick to 5 to not be incessantly talking about the poor 9-4 quarter basketball that we've seen from the Pelicans, including a decisive 13-0 run by the Cavaliers that wiped out the double-digit lead. You want to talk about James Harden in the second half, the surge that he had. Pelicans had no answer for that. He went on, he flipped the switch, scored 13 of his 20 points in the fourth quarter, including 3 critical three-pointers during the initial run. Inefficient perimeter shooting by the Pelicans. They struggle from deep tonight, while the rest of the starting lineup, aside from Williamson, Sadiq, had poor shooting nights. So it would have been nice to see Jordan Poole out there instead of James Borrego, who he runs a 3 off the bench, runs a 3 big 1 point guard lineup. Jordan Poole was not present again tonight. It would have been nice to have his offensive acumen. Once again, this guy is like the 4th leading scorer on the team. The 4th or 5th leading scorer on the team. Borrego can't seem to find consistent minutes for him off the bench, even though he is a double-digit scorer for the Pelicans this season. I just don't get that part of the game. And he makes $30 million. So it makes no sense at all for that to even be happening. The offensive stagnation, the Pelicans went, 4 full minutes without a field goal during the fourth quarter, allowing the Cavs to run that 15-point deficit and turn it into a lead. And of course, we had some foul troubles in the first half that limited Zion's aggressiveness, but then he literally turned it on in the second half for the Pelicans. It just wasn't enough. So, I mean, these are some of the things that I've seen that I witnessed in the 111-106 loss by the Pels to the Cavs. And we got the statistics on screen. Pelicans 39 of 90 for 43% from the field. The Cavs were 48%. Pels were 12 of 40 from downtown for 30%. The Cavs were 12 of 39. Pelicans were 16 of 20 from the foul line. Cavs were 15 of 22 for 68%. The Cavs out-hustled the Pelicans 55 rebounds to Pelicans 40. They had 15 more rebounds against the Pelicans. They even circulated the ball pretty well in this game. The Pelicans 30 assists versus 26. They had 10-6 on the steals. Their way 7-4 on the blocks. The turnovers were even single digit by the Pelicans. 14 turnovers given up off of 9 versus 14. 9 turnovers given up, producing 14 turnover points against the Pels versus the Cavs giving up 14 turnovers and conceding 21 points off those turnovers. Pelicans won the fast break game 14-10, lost the points in the paint 60-54, and had a 15-point lead at one time in the matchup. So, like I said, it's one of the things where you just want to see some consistency from the team, man, and we just haven't been able to see that all season long, and it's just unfortunate. The top scorer tonight was Zion Williamson, 25 points from Zion. A lot of that happened for him in the second half of the game. 25 from him, 10 of 14 from the field efficient. He was 5 of 9 from the free throw line, 6 boards, 4 assists, and a steal for Zion tonight. Led the way, 19 for Sadiq Bey in 36 minutes. He had 4 3-pointers with 6 of 14 from the field, 5 boards, 4 assists, and plus 9 for Sadiq Bey and his. Trey Murphy in this one wasn't working for him. He only took 10 shots in this game. 41 minutes on the court rather. He had 10 points. That cannot happen. Trey Murphy had 10 shots tonight. He had 2 3-pointers, but he was 3 for 10 points. That can't happen. That can't happen if you're Trey Murphy. You play 41 minutes and you're a shooter. You got to do better than 10 shots. 3 of 10 from the field, 2 of 8 from downtown, 2 free throws, 6 boards, 2 blocks for Trey, turning 10 points tonight. DeJounte in 30 minutes had 12 points. He was 4 of 13, 1 of 6. He didn't look good. 12 points, 9 assists in terms of his offensive game. He was a little off. And then, of course, you look at Herb Jones, who played 31 minutes. He was 12 points, 4 of 12 shooting from the field. He had 4 3-pointers, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal and a block for Herb. Then when you hit the bench, not much shaking there. We've seen 9 points from Derek Queen with 3 rebounds and 4 assists in 15 minutes. You've seen 2 6-point scores in Karlo Mekovic in 12 minutes, had 6 points, a rebound, and 2 steals and a block. Yves Missi played 24 minutes off the bench, had 6 points, 10 boards, 3 assists, 3 blocks, plus 4 on his side. And Jeremiah Fears played 18 minutes, had 7 points, hit a 3-pointer, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for him in the game. Nobody else played, no Jordan Poole sighting, none of that. And then on the other side, you can take a look at what happened with the Clips, their top guys. 27 from Donovan Mitchell in 39 minutes. He had 7 rebounds. James Harden, 20 points and 10 assists with 6 rebounds, a double-double him. Plus he was plus 14, and he hit 4 3-pointers on the night. He had 18 for Evan Mobley, along with 8 rebounds and 2 blocks for him in 30 minutes of action. So you had some of their big guys playing. Sam Merrill hit 3 3-pointers on the Pelicans, 15 points he turned in for them. And off the bench, Thomas Bryant, the backup big, and 15 minutes had 11 points and 8 boards off the bench for him. So Pelicans lose. They snap their winning streak. Cleveland snaps the Pelicans' home winning streak and their streak that they had going at home, the 3-game winning streak. It happened. So 2 streaks snap for the Pelicans, and they pivot now with another loss here. We got I think it's another 10 games remaining for the rest of the season, and obviously the Pelicans aren't going anywhere. So we see how this goes, and they have another really quality opponent they're going to take on next, and that's the New York Knicks. The Knicks are a team that is 45 and 20. What is the Knicks record? 40 and 25, 46 and 25. 46 and 25. They're 25 and 9 at home. They're very good at home. The Pelicans are not good on the road. The Pelicans is literally the adverse of their record. The Pelicans have won 9 games on the road out of 20. They're 9 and 25 on the road. The Knicks are 25 and 9 at home. So plus they're playing really good basketball. The Knicks are currently on a 5-game winning streak, playing really solid basketball right now, beating some not so great teams, but they beat Utah, the Pacers twice. They banged up Golden State team by 3, and they barely edged by the Brooklyn Nets 93-92 but they are on a 5-game winning streak. The Pelicans are 3-2 over the last 5. So the Knicks looking to slap down the Pelicans. Josh Hart should be back in time for the matchup. For the Pelicans, he was dealing with a knee issue. Landry Shamet is also supposed to, I don't think he'll make it in time for the Pelicans. He might. It's a game time decision. We'll see how he goes, but you'll have Josh Hart back. You'll more than likely have Landry Shamet to play as well. We'll see where the Pelicans stand with Bryce McGowan's, who's getting close to coming back as well, to see where he's at. And this game will be on the 24th, which is 3 days from now. They'll have an opportunity to take on the Knickerbockers in Madison Square Garden. This will be the second time the teams have clashed. The Knicks beat the Pelicans 130 to 125 in late December. The Knicks are currently on a 3-game winning streak over our squad, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can take care of business against this team. Now, I picked the Pels to win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just let us down in this matchup, and I will definitely pick against them on this one. I don't think they beat the New York Knicks in their building. Knicks playing really good basketball right now. They're trying to climb in the playoff standings. They trail the Boston Celtics, I believe, by 1 game, and they're looking to kind of catch up with them and take possession of the Atlantic Conference. No, a game and a half, rather. They're a game and a half back of Boston, and they're trying to take possession of the Atlantic. And the only way to do that, you got to go past a up and down, inconsistent team like the Pelicans. If you look at what the Knicks are doing, they're a top 10 in the NBA in terms of points per game and op points. They hold you, they score 117, keep you under 111 per game, which is 5th in the NBA. The Pelicans are 16th in the league in scoring and allow a 119.3, which is 25th in the league. The field goal percentage, the Knicks are 12th in the NBA. In field goal percentage, the Pelicans are 16th. The Knicks are top 5 in terms of op field goal percentage. They're 6th in terms of 3-pointers made. The Pelicans are 26 in that staff. Attempting or just shooting, the shooting percentage for 3-pointers right there for them, they're 4th in the NBA. They're top 10 in terms of attempts. The Pelicans in respective stats, 26, 26, and 23. 3 points are not the Pelicans' strong suit, so it might be a barrage of 3-point shooting by the Knicks in this game. Now, you can look at the free throw percentage by the Pelicans. Even though they shoot a lot of free throws, they're 6th in the NBA shooting free throws, but the percentage is showing you that they're only hitting just below 79% of those free throws. We got to convert better than the middle of the pack. The Knicks are 12th in the NBA in terms of that. The rebounds, the Knicks are 5th in the NBA in rebounds. Pelicans are 13th. The Knicks are 10th in terms of assists. The Pelicans are 22nd. The Knicks are 6th in terms of turnovers. Pelicans are 13th. The Knicks are 20th in steals. Pelicans are 9. And blocks, Pelicans haven't beat 13 versus the Knicks 26. Like I said, the Knicks are currently on a 5-game winning streak. They have beaten the Pelicans so far 3 games in a row, and our Pels have to wake up and play better. Can the Pelicans get the win against this team? The matchup indicator says no. They believe that the Knicks will shellac the Pelicans 76.3%, and giving the Pelicans less than 24% an opportunity to do anything with said Knickerbockers when they roll into town. I mean, when the Pels themselves roll in town is what I mean. So going to be interesting to see where that goes and how that goes for this. Let's take a look at the Knicks depth chart right here. Jalen Brunson, like I said, Josh Hart should return for this matchup, as Jalen Brunson is the guy. He is the guy that everything flows through. From that perspective, it's Jalen Brunson. He is the proverbial straw. So the big keys to victory for the Pels to topple the Knicks is, they got to contain Jalen Brunson. The Pelicans have to pressure the Knicks' primary playmaker. They got to disrupt the half-court sets, especially as the game moves to MSG. So they have to contain Jalen Brunson and slow him down. This is a tough assignment by DeJounte Murray. I guess you throw Herb Jones in there. They're gonna have, it's going to be a tough assignment to slow this man down because he scores at all levels. So it's going to be interesting. The Pelicans also have to win the rebound battle. New York is known for his physicality. The Pelicans must improve that flaw in their defensive rebounding. We seen the second chance points from the Cleveland game. The offensive rebounds and stickbacks killed the Pelicans in the final quarter of the game. They got to maintain the fourth quarter intensity. They had a slippage again in this matchup here where they allowed at home. They just scored 18 points and allowed the Cavaliers to run up over them. They got to avoid late game scoring droughts like we've seen against the Cavs. That's critical in them in playing in a high pressure environment in New York. So New York don't show up. It's going to be very high pressure. How do the Pelicans deal with that? Right? How do they deal with that? And of course, on the offensive end, getting Zion Williamson involved without getting him in foul trouble will be key to forcing the Knicks defense to collapse, which will again open up shots for players like Sadiq Bey and Trey Murphy III. We need those guys to knock down these shots because Zion collapsing their defense will provide shots for Trey, will provide shots for DeJounte, will provide shots for Herb, will provide shots for Sadiq. We need those 3-pointers to fall. And of course, bench contribution is going to be huge in this matchup. With the starters being inconsistent, the Pelicans need reliable scoring from reserves off the bench. Can we get a Jordan Poole sighting in the matchup against the Knicks? If we have Jordan Poole in this game, you need to have Jordan Poole available to play if you are the Pelicans. And that's something that James Borrego constantly keeps doing is benching a guy. You're going to need bench scoring. If we had bench scoring tonight, we might have turned the tide against this Cleveland Cavalier club. Because look at these guys. These guys have good scoring here. Jalen Brunson is good, but Mikal Bridges averages 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per contest, so 48.5% shooting. OG Anunoby is another one of these guys, averaging almost 17 a game, 5 boards, on 49% shooting from the field. Tough player, a gritty player. Karl Anthony Towns is another guy that's doing big numbers too, 20 points, 12 rebounds on 49% shooting from the field. So they have guys all over the place. Plus, the bench is not bad. Jose Alvarado is there. He's getting acclimated to the Knicks style. He has averaging 7 points. It'd be good to see Jose Alvarado. Landry Shamet should be back in this game for them. This is one of their shooters that do good. He's supposed to be ready and back from this game. Jordan Clarkson is another player that's been relatively quiet for the Knicks, but he does hurt the Pelicans when he plays. You'll see Mitchell Robinson, another aggressive big that's a rebounder for them coming up off the bench. So like I said, there are going to be a number of players involved. The Knicks want to catch up with the Boston Celtics got going on. So, they're not going to fall down at all and allow the Pelicans to have an opportunity here. The Pelicans going to have to get, if they have a chance to do anything or get a win in this game, the Pelicans going to have to step up and show out in this matchup. So that's pretty much my keys, fam. I'm going to go over them again. Contain Jalen Brunson. They got to pressure the Knicks' primary playmaker. Disrupt those half-court sets, and another question is, how do the Pelicans deal with the pressure of playing in the MSG? Winning the rebound battle, beating them, being physical with them. That's something that we have to do. Maintaining the fourth quarter intensity on the road, avoiding these late droughts that plague the teams like we seen against the Cavs. How do the Pelicans adjust from that? And then getting Zion in a position where he don't pick up early foul trouble that limits his production, because you're going to need his gravity to set up looks for aforementioned players we talked about, from Sadiq to DeJounte to Trey. We're going to need his gravity to do that, and the Pelicans will have to hit those shots. They're going to have to hit those shots. And of course, like I said, the bench contribution will be big. We had 3 bigs and a point guard off the bench against the Cavs. I keep saying the same thing. Jordan Poole it can help. He can help if you put him in the proper position. He can help you. I keep saying the same thing to Borrego, talking all this love stuff. You need to figure out how to work your lineups off the bench, because that is something that's been plaguing the Pelicans for a while. We have to be able to learn how to rotate and use players off the bench, and he still doesn't know how to do that. He still hasn't figured that out, and that's troublesome. That's very troublesome. Because if you look at the Pelicans, let me go in on this one, fam, and show y'all what I'm talking about. They need every little bit of help they can get. Trey Murphy leads the Pelicans, as you can see, in scoring per game, 22 points. For him, Zion is 21.3. DeJounte is up to 19 points a game in 9 games. DeJounte is averaging 19 points a game in the last 9 games, 27 minutes, 19 points from him. Sadiq Bey is 17 and Jordan Poole is 13. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's the 5th leading scorer on the team and 44 games started. He played in 71 games this year, right? And I'm sorry, that's Fears with 13 a game. But Poole right here is the 5th best scorer on the Pelicans. 35 games, 6 games he started. He's averaging 24 minutes a game spread out, 13 points a contest. 13 points. That's 5th on your team. The guy can't even get consistent minutes off the bench from the coach, who is losing some of this when you have a scorer off the bench. It can't help. I keep advocating for the same thing because we need the scoring of the second team when our starters struggle. It's the same old story. Sometimes the bench helps you carry the day, and we need all the scoring we can muster if you having an opportunity to win. Now, with another loss by the Pelicans, and we knew this by now, it was a long stretch for the Pelicans to do anything, period, in terms of them seeing them in a light where they were going to potential run for a playoff spot. I think that is closed, I think that is close. And despite the fact, like I said, and it's fitting because it does slow a lot of the pro Borrego talk down. And let me show you the Western Conference statistics before we get ready to go. But it does slow a lot of that down righteously, to be honest with you, because I think we definitely only, and let me make this very clear about James Borrego. James Borrego is only a factor if the leaders or the VP of the team, who's supposed to have the direction of the team, is having talks with lesser coaches. And no disrespect when I mean lesser. When I mean lesser, I mean guys that are head coaches that are without a championship. You get what I'm saying? If there are coaches out there that's ready to coach and they're waiting for opportunities to coach, and you're looking for a coach and you are a VP with championship experience, you understand what it takes to get there. And you have to be able to find a coach that will get the team to the promised land. To me, that's not James Borrego. The Pelicans have to be able to see championship, not just trying to get to the playoffs. That's loser talk. We want to have a coach that have the ability, who's been to the promised land. That's number one, that can be able to take us there as well. And they have several coaches that's available that'll be free agents, that are free agents now, that'll be available in the offseason that the Pelicans can go to. I'm discounting Borrego in them talks, period. If it's Malone and Coach Bud and guys like that that's interested in the job, I'm looking at those men because of their credentials, because they're way more credentialed than what we have currently. Borrego is only a factor if the coach, if the VP and the staff is not looking at that level, which would be a goddamn shame. If the guy is doing some bullshit where they're looking at lesser coaches, like and considering lesser coaches, like if it's Kevin Ollie or Darvin Ham and all these kind of coaches, of course James Borrego should be higher than that. But they better be looking at better coaches than that when you have an opportunity to land a guy with a resume that has a championship. I don't want to hear nothing about no James Borrego. If you're talking to men who have won championships in the last 5 years as a head coach. But this is showing you, it kind of knocking the because people was kind of getting up in the stuff about, hey man, you billing on something. No, you're not. You're not, because they're winning in certain areas, but when they match up against these other teams, you see it all fall out. You see it all fall out. The IQ comes out, all the stuff that would make them great they need to have, they don't have. They become unraveled. And we've seen this for 47 stinking losses of this year. We've seen the same thing. So at the end of the day, I want championships. I want championships here. You go talk to championship coaches if they're available. Borrego should not be in that conversation. You don't want anything that Willie Green or David Griffin had from his staff. You go and get your own team. and put them together. So that's my thought on that, man. If you want to play for championships and win championships as the Pelicans, that's what you have to do. We can't be playing with rejects and castovers and holdovers from previous regimes that failed. They don't have what it takes to win. If they did, they would have did it this year. They had plenty of time. So, I mean, I digress. Now, as you can see on screen right now, the Pelicans have climbed to the 11th spot there. They're still noticeably behind the Golden State Warriors, who have lost 3 games in a row. They're 2-8. So the Golden State Warriors will have to continue to fall out of this thing here. You see Phoenix is losing. The Pelicans will not catch Phoenix at all in terms of that. That is just not going to happen. So the lowest totem pole team is Golden State, who's lost 3 in a row. They're 2-8 over the last 10 games. I don't know when Steph's supposed to be coming back, but they're in the final spot. The Pelicans are, according to this, 7.5 games back from catching Golden State. So Golden State the Pelicans will have to win all of their games, and they have a matchup when they play Golden State. So they'll have to finish and win all of their games, and Golden State would have to lose a great deal of their games for the Pelicans to catch them. So they would have to lose 7-8 games. Pelicans would have to win to have a chance. Golden State would have to lose and the Pelicans would have to win. That's what it comes down to. The only problem is the Pelicans do not have an easy schedule coming up. They got games against teams that want to climb in the playoffs and some of these other teams that don't. You're going to see Portland. You're going to see, I think, Golden State's in there somewhere. So there's still some teams that you're going to play that is still wanting to compete, for a spot. And the Pelicans will have to beat these teams. They will have to beat these teams. And a lot of this, I just don't see happening. So anyway, we have, I think it's 11 games remaining in the season, as you can see, and several of these teams that we'll be matching up against, we will see. And I'm not being negative. I'm just being real based on what the team is given. Look at how the schedule parlays. This team is so up and down. It's ridiculous. It's so up and down. And please don't let these people sell you with the injury bullshit again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 10 games remaining. Pelicans will have to win all of these games, and the Golden State will have to lose 8 or 9 games for them to have a chance to catch them. We got Knicks. We got at Knicks. Detroit lost Cade Cunningham, so you might have a chance there. Toronto is a good team going up there with BI wanting a little revenge. We come home. Houston and Portland's on the winning streak right now. They're playing well. Houston is trying to gain ground. Sacramento's no good. Orlando is a team that we haven't beat in 7 or 8 attempts. And then, of course, you have Boston that's number 1 in the East and Minnesota who's competing in the West. The Pelicans will have to beat these teams to have an opportunity. And not being negative, just being real based on the type of team that they keep showing us. It's a team that shows they get excited at times, but they can't close the deal on some of the big games. It would have been a big vote of confidence to see them beat Cleveland, a team that's in there battling. And they were up by 15 and then just allowed it to get away from them. It's the same old stuff with the team. That's why we need a change at the head coach. The guy's not that collectively clutch IQ is not what it's supposed to be. Damn all that other stuff. At the end of the day, we're just not fundamentally sound enough. And he had enough time to be able to try to situate and create that. And we are not seeing it consistently. Enough of this. So when the time comes for him to walk out the door, you tip your hat to him and we get the hell on and get business and find a real coach that can galvanize the team with a resume. That's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed. The Pels go down tonight. They blow a 15-point lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers and lose 111 to 106. They now fall. The Pelicans are now a dusty 25-47 right now. They are 11th in the Western Conference race, but they're 7.5 games behind Golden State. And I'm not going to even go there with y'all on that one, man. It simply is what it is. Anyway, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Hit the comment section up, man. Let me know what you guys think about the Pelicans and can they make the play-in? What do you think about that? Do you think Borrego should be the coach? If you what do you guys want? Do you guys are you in the long run of it? What do you guys believe the Pelicans should be playing for? And do you believe that getting a championship coach should be it, or should we be sticking with the guy we got? Y'all, all this stuff, fill in the comment section. Let me hear your thoughts. With that being said, I'm out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know the flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You can double, you can press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootitdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thehootdatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.